Sorry, I still have my Christmas nail polish on because I'm doing this in the last week of December. I thought that was the perfect time for doing flip-throughs of journals that I've done in 2016. And I've done many different journals this year, and one of the journals I did was following Mixed Media Morsels, and I'll link that down below. So Mixed Media Morsels is hosted by Kat Hand, and she started it in January 2016, and every week or every other week she shows a technique on some mixed media technique that you can use in journaling. So I use this, it's a mixed media journal. It's a mixed media journal with mixed media paper. And some of the first prompts was I don't know which one came first, but this one is alcohol dripping. And I'm not too crazy about the colors I used there, but it did give me the know-how for how to do alcohol dripping, which I used many times in some of my journal backgrounds this year. And then these two were the same technique, one done with dark colors, one done with the lighter colors, which is plastic wrap. And I don't think that one worked out well at all. You paint, and then while the paint is still watery, put on plastic wrap right on it, and then crinkle up the plastic wrap and let it dry overnight. I guess I'm not going to explain all these techniques because she already explains them in the Mixed Media Morsels. And here, if you can see it in the right light, yeah, right there. You can see where it's matte, where the matte and glossy areas are, where the plastic wrap crinkles were. Another one of the beginning techniques, which I didn't finish, was glue resist. So I did do the glue, but you're supposed to paint with watery paint on top of it. This was tissue paper background, where you crinkle up tissue paper. I thought that could really become a leather. That could become looking like leather, I think, pretty easily. This was inchies, and I cut up the papers from my paint scrap journal. It's another journal that I started keeping this year, where any kind of paint scrap, like where I have to clean off tools and materials, I put in a notebook. And when you I cut all these up, and each one of these is so interesting when you see them on small scale. And this one was, I used shaving cream. I tried shaving cream foam prints, which was really messy. And I'm not sure that my prints came out that great, but I love the colors. And then I ripped up the paper so the white part would show like waves, and added corrugated cardboard. So I actually turned her technique into a picture. This prompt was, but this technique that she was teaching us was, circle background. Yeah, like making circles with the cardboard tubes. And since mine ended up being so, excuse me, mine ended up being so pink and orange. I mean, really, really pretty orange. I thought Garfield would be a good character for that, since it was such an orange background. This one was silhouette. And I just did this straight in acrylic paint. This one was, how to do wavy lettering. Fun wavy lettering. I like this quote. "I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells," by Dr. Seuss. And there's my walking brain. This one was, the technique she taught was, let's see, the sentiment is music is the soundtrack of our life. I cannot remember the technique that she was teaching there. This one, the technique is, what is it? Double, should be side by side. Instead I have it like this and this. The technique was stenciling. So underneath I did spatter painting. Well, actually I probably used one of my scrap paint, paper paint, pages of scrap paint for my scrap paint journal. And then put down heart stencil on top to block out the black paint, painted the black paint on. Now this one's really cool. I made it more three-dimensional. And this was paper strip background, where you just tear up different kinds of paper into strips. And I really like these raw edges. And I think this just turns out so great with the gold, and the colors are just wonderful. And then I thought of adding the beads and feathers in the middle. So I'm really happy with this. And this one she was teaching borders, I think. Different kind of borders you can make. And this was a stamp that I used by Diane Reevely. I can't remember which mixed media morsel that was. This one was your own handmade butterflies. Mosaic. Oh, one of my little butterflies is right there. It's stuck there because it's supposed to be right there. So mosaics, paper mosaics. This one, which was birds, and it could have been whimsical birds. So I used one of my shaving foam prints and made whimsical pink flamingos. I can't remember what kind of, I think she was teaching something about the background, and I can't remember now. This one was crackle paste. I mean, making your own. She had ways of using glue, white glue. And this one totally did not work out at all. This one okay, kind of, but not really. The best one, which I don't even have here because I've already incorporated it into a mixed media artwork, I did just with straight crackle paste out of the jar. These were not. These were done with some kind of white glue technique, which just never worked for me. This one is cursive lettering, like filled in lettering. So you learn how to do the top line, and then you do the bottom part of the letters, and then you're able to fill it in, and you're able to make them like bubble-like and fill them in. Life is like a flower, let it unfold. It's a good reminder. And let me say, oh my goodness, see, I didn't stick with mixed media morsels all year long. And that was my last mixed media morsel that I did. So, thank you so much for watching. And I hope this has inspired you to start art journaling or do more art journaling this year. And I'm wishing you, excuse me, I wish you a happy 2017.